Okay, folks, one of the first things we're going to do is weigh these out so we can compare, and this is just observation, just to see what we're comparing here in the weight of each stand. First of all, we've got 28 pounds roughly, almost 28 pounds. For the Townsend complete. There's no way for me to put this on it other than to just balance it on one foot, but as you can see, this should be proper weight. I'm not pressing down on it, I'm just holding it. So 26, 27. Let's see if I can make it go up any higher. 28 looks like is the max reading that I'm getting. So let's just say Townsend is 28. Okay, hold on. Okay, and we'll have to add these up because it'll be hard for me to balance. You can't balance all that stuff on while I can't tip it on the edge, in other words, with the live vibe. But as you can see right here, 7.5 pounds of straight pure brass. We look at this, which goes down a little. Something on the tip there. But I mean, this is a fine ass, like, I mean, this could hurt you, you know, but it's a fine little tip, very precise machining. This thing just smooth as butter rolling on here. It doesn't catch at all. They're very smooth. This is the difference between American machining and Chinese machining. It's just different. Yeah, so these are high grade. 7.5 pounds of brass. Let me go get the platform and we'll add it on. So hold on. Okay, and here we have the stand, just the metal platform on the live vibe, 31.8. So just about 32, close to 32 pounds of just platform. So 32 for ease of doing the math, and then 7.5. 39.5, basically 40 pounds versus, what was that, 28? So versus 39 pounds. So just about 10 pounds heavier on the live vibe. The live vibe is powder coated steel and has these slots in it to help take up vibration, and also so you can mount the points depending on the size of your equipment. And look at how nice that finish is. There's no machining lines in it. Look at the contours to it. Look at that fine point that takes a different angle. Now all these angles, they've tested with different angles, and this is the one that was most effective. They've done this over the last, I think, 25 years. This design has been refined. So what you're looking at here is an extremely refined design. Now, not only that, this brass is polished and then finished with a coating of some sort to keep it from oxidizing or getting yucky, if you will. It will stay nice like this. Maybe after 10 years, it gets a little dull, but that's the patina. You do not want to polish them at home. You want to just leave it there because it's a proprietary process, and you just don't want to mess with it. This is the receptacle for that tip. So the tip of the live vibe fits right into here like this, okay? And this is where the vibration comes through this cone and is deposited down into this, what they call a sink, because this absorbs up the vibration and takes it up. Okay, and this is, again, there's a little recessed cup in there. This goes on the bottom of your component like this. The reason there's a thread, you can put it on where the feet are of your component if you wish, or you can just put them straight to the body of the component. And then this is what transfers the vibration from the component down into this cone that you can see. Oh, well, let me try and do this better. Okay, so you get, it's like this, right? Like that. And then the component goes right on top of here where my finger is, okay? And this is how it transmits down to the cone on the inverse. So here's a close-up on the Townsend. What we have here is a plastic foot rotating disc, okay, that goes on the bottom. This is attached with a steel nut to some sort of a cap or spring retainer with a collar on this, and I presume that is just I don't know. It's a little. This clearly can get a little corroded depending on the atmosphere and where it is. Brass, that doesn't happen to. That's why they use brass bells and brass hardware on ships, because brass can be in the midst of salt water and not corrode. So brass is very much corrosion free. Steel, not so much. If you powder coat it though and put this nice wrinkle finish, then it makes it a little more impervious, but not this kind of stuff. Okay, and then we go into this bell housing or whatever they call this, which screws down. This is the other side of the spring. Presume the spring is in here. So there's a spring, and this you can tighten the tension. There's probably a flat plate or something of that nature, where as you crank this down, you move something down to make it tighter so you can put heavier things on this, because this is like a shock absorber. You know, if I squeeze, see how that goes in? Okay, so hopefully you're never going to get a vibration that's that big, because this takes a lot of, I could stand on this thing, right? So what it does is it gives it a spring isolation, or a spring coupling rather. So you're going to have a spring all the way up to the top here, steel bell housing or some sort of metal bell housing, a bottom retaining part, and you know, it's all held together in a sandwich, and then it's sandwiched onto a steel plate, which is the way the Townsend works. Now the Townsend goes at it differently. Townsend is trying to isolate from the surface. They're trying to decouple, whereas the Live Vibe is trying to couple, very much so. So this decouples through spring, which basically it's still coupling because it's a spring. It's just coupled much less efficiently and slower. Okay. Now I'm not saying either one is good or bad at this point. I'm just telling you they go at it differently. This is very much coupled. It's just less efficiently coupled and slower coupled. Let's see how that works versus rigidly coupled, and where it moves the vibration out. Okay, so in the end, it turns out that on a weight basis, we're looking at 40 pounds versus 28. So from a sheer mass standpoint, Live Vibe beats out the Townsend. And again, I'm making no reference to sound quality because we're not there yet. We're just looking at straight material costs and what the materials are, because this one's more expensive. So it really should have better materials and have better fit and finish. And I think after closer inspection, we can see with the corrosion and so forth on this, just a little teeny bit, and the plastic and stuff, this is not at the same level of materials that the Live Vibe is. So Townsend may be very effective. It's just not the level of fit and finish or material level or level of quality. Like, not only is this brass, 8 pounds of brass, basically 7.75, but this is fine machining. This is as good machining as it gets. I mean, this little bell shape, if you look close on these, if you're a machinist, you will immediately know this is the top level machining you can get. Like, this is pro level machining. Serious. Not one mark, not one mar, not one scratch. I mean, these are perfect machined. So clearly this one's worth more. I mean, if we didn't know anything and we were just guys trying to take something to the scrapyard, we would pick this first because clearly it has more value than this from just a material standpoint. Okay. And it's heavier. So for whatever that's worth, I just wanted to look at the materials because this one is more expensive. You should be getting more for your money with this. It is pretty evident that you do get more for your money in terms of materials and machining on this piece. This, not so much. There isn't really much machining, if any. It's just kind of things are put together. Not saying it's not effective. This is probably very effective and very good. I know many people that love the Townsends. Swear by them. But right now, we're just going on materials and weight and what materials they are and the fit and finish and the machine level. And clearly this is the premium of the two. And we will get into the sonic in a second. So see you.